My name is Jim Wilson. I'm the architect and builder for this home in Loveladies. I've been fortunate enough to design two houses on the same site. The first time in the early 1980s. It was one of my favorite designs. It was one of my earliest oceanfront designs. The current owners bought the property around 2007. They were longtime Loveladies summer residents. And they loved living here for that next 10 years, to let's say 2017, when their grandchildren got into high school age. They realized time to have a bigger house, so they called me to do a renovation. As we went through the renovation process, we designed a house preliminarily and ran some numbers to it and realized that the cost of building this renovation was going to be about the same as building a whole new house. And by building a whole new house, we would be able to raise it a little bit and get better views. So that's what we wound up doing, and this is the house we wound up designing. Here we are outside at the entrance. You arrive through a long wandering driveway engulfed in pine trees, but you're still not sure you're at the beach. From the parking area, you go up this large, inviting set of stairs and don't get your first look at the ocean until you open the double entry doors and get a nice surprise. The exterior is sided with a new cedar composite shiplap siding installed vertically. Looks like cedar, but it's totally maintenance-free. But let's start the tour at the top level. So here we are in the great room on the top level. I'm looking to the south. And the owner's two most important directives to me when we started the job was to take full advantage of what this magnificent site has to offer. Secondly, to make sure that the house has a feeling of openness throughout. With that, I created my own concept, which in a single statement is a view from everywhere to everywhere. So from the great room where I'm sitting now, we have views across the dunes to the ocean, to the beach, to the south, the east, and the north. Across the room, towards the kitchen and dining room, we have great views to the west of the Barnegat Bay. Now, to maximize these views, we decided to locate the living level on the top floor. We call it reverse living. The ceiling height, together with the large expanses of the glass, helped us accomplish this feeling of openness that they had asked for. However, because we're on Long Beach Island, we're in a high wind area. And to have large expanses of glass, we had to have a steel frame, a structural steel frame for the house. This adds cost to the house, but it allowed us to have a completely open great room with no walls, no columns. And it also allowed us to make a very large space to accomplish one of the owner's other requests, which was to have a space large enough to entertain 60 to 100 people comfortably. This great room has a step ceiling with changeable colored LED lights that surround the high space, which creates an interesting effect after dark. The owners are a wonderful couple. They were a pleasure to work with. They're both very successful doctors and authors. And they laid out some very clear goals. And they were inquisitive and they were open-minded throughout the process. Their whole family, their son, their daughter-in-law, and their grandchildren all had input into the project. Very important part of any successful architectural project is to have as much input as you can to know what everybody wants to have in the house. The owners wanted a clean, modern feeling throughout the home, so the kitchen is simple but efficient. It has soft blue, flat slab cabinets with white quartz countertops, and the center island and the custom-made dining room table are in a gray and black granite, with streaks resembling the movement of the ocean, which the owner had picked. So people might be interested in the appliances we used. We didn't go with just the top brand names. We researched the appliances. We had a budget in mind, and we wound up using a Viking refrigerator, but we used the counter depth refrigerator as opposed to the 2-foot depth. We got a lot more space in the refrigerator at a much better cost. And we wound up using Frigidaire Professional for both the range and for the dishwasher. And we used a Sharp under-counter microwave. So the backsplash is always a question. It's taste. Do you like it? Do I like it? Do they like it? So I tried to find something that was in between. And by using a stainless steel, small tile, I think we found something that satisfied everybody. The dining area is an extension of the kitchen and is casually separated by changing the color of the base cabinets to wood. The evening sunsets are very much enjoyed from this dining room table. Yes, so the dining room table was quite a project. We originally were going to use an oak table there. And I had actually bought one extra door slab, which I contemplated putting a glass top on and having it tie in with the rest of the house. But the owner, once we put in the countertop above the kitchen sink, he loved that granite, and he had chosen it. He said, can't we find a piece of granite that would match that would be for the dining room table? So we went and we looked and we found something that he liked. He liked it because he felt the movement of waves. But as itself, it didn't really satisfy me, so we wound up spending an extra $3,000 to put the black edges on it. Well, it wound up costing a lot of money. And he sort of had to negotiate that with his wife, say, we're going to spend this kind of money for that dining room table. And she said, oops, I think we can do that, but I want a piano. I think she got the better of the deal. It's a Steinway baby grand piano. Because of this large great room, we have a large flat roof area above it. It's 36 feet square. So we wound up putting a good-sized roof deck up there. Can be used for a party. They often just use it for stargazing. They lay with their backs on the thing at night and use their telescopes and watch the stars. It's also just a great place to bring people to take a look at the island. It's a great vista, panoramic views. There's a large deck to the south of the great room with more fantastic views that expand the gathering area and is often used for outdoor dining, sitting, and lounging. To the north side of the great room is a small open office where the owner works from her laptop and still enjoys the views and can interact with the rest of the family at the same time. There's a powder room and there's an elevator. The elevator is a must for any reverse living house, and it gets used often, making it just a few steps from the car to the kitchen. Lastly, in the northeast corner of the great room, I dropped a ceiling to create a cozier feeling for a conversation and TV area, while still having great views of the ocean. I added some interest to the space by installing dark blue fabric acoustical panels surrounded by oak at the drop ceilings. The great room has 4 separate seating areas that serve different needs and different moods. There is the drop ceiling conversation area. Then there's the dining room table and the countertop area. And there's a large U-shaped sectional that faces the south. And then lastly, at the closest point to the ocean, there are 4 swivel chairs that enjoy a beach view in all directions. This turned out to be the family's favorite spot. So furnishing a large house like this is quite a project. You just don't go to Oscar Huber and make it happen. I spent a lot of time choosing the various pieces of furniture. I went to Fort Lauderdale, Miami, New York, Dallas, and I wound up buying most of the furniture from Zurich Furniture in Dallas. There's so many different pieces. We have several different sectionals, all with a kind of a modern look. We have the sofas that are at the conversation area. A very unique looking couch. So after looking at many different pieces of furniture in different places, I really felt comfortable when I came out of Dallas and had chosen almost all of these pieces that are in the main living room. Sat in everything, felt comfortable, the prices were right. Then we had to find many other things. We had to find the end tables, the carpets. It took a lot of time. In keeping with a clean, modern look, most of the walls are white. There's just one wall covered with a blue wave wallpaper as an accent. So the floors, we wound up with, in all the main areas, a gray tile, variegated tile, got a little bit of feeling to it. And we put some stripes of a little darker gray tile in it. So I think we got a great look with the floor. We edged the outside with a white tile, and then we put some stripes through the tile, and we also ran those same stripes through the driveway in the same fashion. So there's themes that carried through the house. Further to the north, on the top floor, is the master bedroom and a guest suite. The master is mid-size with a nice view of the ocean with a king bed and a walk-in closet. The master bath is finished in black at the owner's request. The countertops are absolute black granite provided by stone crafters. And the shower itself has great views of the ocean. These tubs, these blue tubs in the master bathrooms are from China. They were hand painted and shipped here, and they're really an interesting piece to put in the room. Kind of followed the theme of just simple lines and blue. So we added some warmth and color to all the rooms by simply putting good-looking doors in each room. The doors came from Spain. They were made by San Rafael, and they're made of a light-colored beechwood, European beechwood. And we had some specialty things done that these are very unique doors. These are the only doors that look exactly like this. And as you can see, there's some porthole-looking windows in them. They hadn't done that before, but they figured out how to do it, and they did it. We just kind of wanted that to give us a little feeling of a ship. And I think that it's something that I've done in many of my houses, is use the doors, which every room has, as a very special way to bring color and texture into a room. A set of open, see-through stairs join the upper living level and the mid-level. They were built in place using light-colored maple, and the stair treads are edged with 2-inch strips of blue leather. Glass railings contribute to the openness of the stairs. You see this large expanse of glass looking out towards the woods and over to the bay. Well, that was one of the very few things that changed from the original plans. I had this bottom section with a wall because I intended to put art there. But the owner saw it differently. And he said, I don't think so. What do you think if we put a window there? And I said, well, that's going to change the appearance of the exterior, but let me try it. I'm going to do a drawing and see what it looked like. And that was the end of that. And it was a great decision that he made. That became one of the important things of the house. The mid-level is the entry point for the guests. Upon arrival, to the right is a view of the ocean and the pool deck. This level is used by the owner's son, daughter-in-law, and their 2 children. It has its own living area, a bar with refrigerator, microwave, and large TV. At the furthest point, towards the ocean, there's a table and chairs for games, cards, puzzles, or just talking while just being a few feet from the dunes, and of course, still with a great view of the ocean. This lower living room overlooks the pool deck and has a comfortable sectional couch. The video game room is located in the southwest corner because it has the least need for views and it keeps the gamers and their noise away from the others. There's another master suite, the same as the one above, but decorated in lighter colors. There are separate bedrooms for their grandchildren and a bathroom at the mid-level. The house has 6.5 bathrooms in all. And at grade, there is a lower entry and a larger game room, which has a ping pong table and some exercise equipment. And there's also a garage, a large garage at that level. The mid-level deck is partially covered and gets a lot of use. The granddaughter is a competitive swimmer, and the family can watch her while she works out in the pool that has this flowing water swim machine. It's also a great place for dining in the shade while grilling, and because it's covered, it has a cozier feeling while still having good views and being close to the trees surrounding it. You need to realize that during the process of designing a home, every wall, every piece has a reason. And it doesn't start out with that reason. It winds up with that reason. Sometimes there's a very specific reason having to do with the building codes, having to do with the site, where the boundaries are. But every single line that I draw as an architect has a reason. So everyone asks about my architectural philosophy. The truth is, when I think about it, I have no philosophy. I'm not a philosopher. I'm a gut reaction guy. I do my homework, I study the site, I interview the clients, and I put it all together and come out with a gut reaction. That's my philosophy. As we close the tour, I'd just like to thank all the craftsmen and workers and suppliers and everyone who helped to construct this home. And I'd like to thank them on behalf of the owners, who are very, very happy with their house.